Are you ready to discover one of Italy's most enchanting cities? Florence is a city like no other, with its captivating history, breathtaking architecture, and incredible art and museums. Did you know that Florence welcomes over 5 million tourists each year, many of whom are cruise passengers taking the opportunity to explore the city while the ships are docked in Tuscan ports? That's why, in this video, I put together the perfect itinerary for you to enjoy the city's top attractions, particularly if your ship is in port for the day. And before we start, take a second to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any cruise and travel tips. And between us, there are many great videos already available and even more on the way. But now, it's time to disembark and explore the stunning beauty of Florence together. Shall we go? Hello cruise mates, welcome once again to Cruising the World. I'm Horton Novak, and on this channel we talk about everything related to cruise and travel. In today's video, we'll explore one of my favorite cities in Italy, the beautiful city of Firenze, also known as Florence. We'll cover the most sea attractions for cruise passengers, particularly those visiting the city for just one day. Florence is a city renowned for its rich history, art, and culture. While there is much more to see and do, today we will explore 5 must-see places in Florence that you can visit while your cruise ship is docked for the day at one of the nearby ports, such as Livorno or La Spezia. However, the extent of your exploration in one day will depend on how long your ship is docked at port, how you're going to get to the city, your physical readiness, and your travel style. While some attractions in this guide are also excellent options for those with a bit more time in Florence, if you stay in the city for longer than a day, be sure to watch until the end of this video for 3 extra tips on some of the city's most popular spots and a few of my favorite locations that require and deserve more time to be properly explored. The beautiful medieval city of Florence lies in the heart of Tuscany, surrounded by rolling hills on 3 sides, and is divided into 2 distinct areas by the Arno River that crosses the city. Florence serves as the capital of both the province of Firenze and the Tuscany region, and is located approximately 233 kilometers northwest of Rome. The closest cruise port to Florence is Livorno. Livorno is a major commercial port and a common stop for cruise ships visiting Tuscany, serving as gateway to Florence, Pisa, and other cities in the region. From Livorno, we are about 120 kilometers from Florence, and the train journey between the 2 cities takes about an hour and 20 minutes. If your ship's docked in La Spezia, the journey is slightly longer, taking around 2.5 hours by train. If your cruise ship is docked in La Spezia, I highly recommend visiting the stunning Cinque region, which is only 30 minutes from the port, instead of Florence. This is especially true because the long journey to and from Florence won't leave much free time for visitors to explore the city's attractions. Cinque Terre is a unique region that deserves a spot on any cruise's bucket list. While it differs greatly from Florence, it offers an unparalleled experience, especially if you're interested in stunning villages and views, hiking, or simply spending a day at the beach. Visiting Florence on your own, especially if you are coming from Livorno, is quite simple. However, if this is your first time visiting the region, or if you are not comfortable with the language, I suggest booking an excursion with a cruise line or a local guide who speaks your language. While ship excursions may be pricier, the best advantage is that the ship will wait for your return in the event of delays. Another option, which is one of my favorites, is to use 2 apps like Get Your Guide and Viator. They normally offer more 2 options and are usually more affordable. Please ensure you check with your guide whether the 2 companies guarantee a timely return to the cruise port. I will list some of the excursions I used during my Florence adventure in the video description and on my blog cruising-the-world.com to assist you with your plans. Check it out! Regardless of how you reach Florence, the best place to begin your visit is Piazza del Duomo, the heart of the city's historic center. This area is among the most popular in the city, and as expected, is filled with cafes, restaurants, and historic buildings. The main attraction here is the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, commonly referred to as the Duomo of Florence. Fun fact: the Latin word Duomo means house. However, in Italian, this term typically refers to a cathedral, which is why this area is called Piazza del Duomo, or Cathedral Square in English. The Duomo is a Gothic cathedral that began construction in the 13th century and was only completed in the 15th century. Its exterior showcased sculptures and decorative elements crafted from pink, green, and white marble, including elaborate mosaics and the iconic bands that adorn the facade, which have become trademarks of both the building and Florentine architecture. The interior of the cathedral is equally striking, featuring huge imposing arches, stunning stained glass windows, and beautiful frescoes. The building was once the largest cathedral in medieval Europe, but today it ranks as the fourth largest. Despite this, its dome, designed by Filippo Brunelleschi, remains the largest masonry dome ever built. The dome is an architectural marvel, visible from nearly every corner of the city. If you have the time and physical fitness, be sure to climb the 463 steps to the top of the dome for an incredible panoramic view of Florence. However, if not, don't worry. Just admire the beauty of the rich colored marble mosaics on the cathedral's exterior is already worth the visit. The cathedral is not the only must-see attraction in Piazza del Duomo though. Be sure to admire or visit two other significant buildings next to the church: Giotto's Campanile and the Baptistery of St. John. Giotto's Campanile is one of the masterpieces of Florentine Gothic architecture. As the name suggests, it was designed by the renowned artist Giotto, who began its construction in 1334. The tower stands at a little over 84 meters tall, and like the cathedral, is adorned with intricate mosaics and pieces of colored marble that cover its structure. You can visit the tower, but be prepared. There are 414 steps to the top, on a very narrow and somewhat claustrophobic staircase. However, if that doesn't stop you, you'll be rewarded with stunning views of Florence, including unique views of the Duomo's dome. The Baptistery of St. John, situated directly across from the Duomo, is one of the oldest buildings in Florence, having been constructed between 1059 and 1128. It is regarded as a masterpiece of Italian Romanesque architecture. This octagonal structure is dedicated to St. John the Baptist, Florence's patron saint, and serves as the site where many notable Florentines, including the poet Dante Alighieri, were baptized. Among many works of art and frescoes, the baptistry is renowned for its striking bronze doors, especially the eastern gates, commonly referred to as the Gates of Paradise. This masterpiece of Renaissance art, designed by Lorenzo Ghiberti, features intricate carvings depicting scenes from the Old Testament. Although long lines are common, entry to the cathedral is free of charge. However, visitors must pay to access the dome of the top of the church, the bell tower, and the baptistry, and tickets often sell out quickly. It's advisable to get your tickets and plan your visit in advance. Tickets can be acquired directly from the official Florence website, at the official stores in Piazza del Duomo, or through websites and apps like Get Your Guide and Vieta, which offer various tour options, including some that provide return transportation from nearby cruise ports. I will share some of my favorite tours that I use during my trips to Florence in the description of this video and on the blog, for your reference and to assist with your research. Please note that some of these links may be sponsored, meaning you won't incur any extra costs when booking to the stores. However, I might earn a small commission from referrals. I appreciate your support by using these links, as it really helps me to continue creating weekly videos filled with tips for you every week. A few minutes walk from the Duomo, you'll find the incredible Piazza della Signoria, a true open-air museum and one of the most emblematic places in Florence. As soon as you arrive, it's impossible not to notice a replica of Michelangelo's famous statue of David, standing exactly where the original sculpture was first unveiled in 1504. Michelangelo's original statue is now protected from pollution and weather conditions in the Galleria dell'Accademia. Still, this replica preserves the symbolic historical significance of the original work, which is considered a true icon of Florentine freedom. Right next door, under the elegant Loggia del Lanzi, are some other impressive Renaissance sculptures, such as the dramatic Rape of the Sabine Women, and the powerful Perseus with the head of Medusa. All these statues together appear to transform this corner of the square into a scene for a fantastical mythological battle. In the center of the square, the Fountain of Neptune, created by Bartolomeo Amanati, symbolizes the city's maritime power during the Medici era. Although many Florentines criticized the work when it was first unveiled, it now stands as one of the city's icons and is among Florence's most photographic attractions. And of course, as a backdrop to all of this, is the magnificent Palazzo Vecchio, the former seat of the Florentine government, which now serves as both as a museum and city hall. If you have the time, it's definitely worth going inside, visiting the Hall of the 500, and perhaps climbing up to the tower for another spectacular view of the city. The Piazza della Signoria is the kind of place you don't want to rush through, with charming cafes, street performers, and the constant energy of tourists and locals alike. It is the perfect spot to sit back, order an espresso, and simply enjoy the spectacle of Florentine life around you. Enjoy this video? Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This really helps our content reach other cruisers and travel enthusiasts like you. We'll head now to one of Florence's most notorious landmarks, the Ponte Vecchio. This medieval bridge, built in 1345, is much more than just a crossing over the Arno River. It is a symbol of the city with a history spanning centuries. Unlike other ordinary bridges, the Ponte Vecchio features an assortment of shops along its length, most of which sell jewelry, craft, and souvenirs from the city. Walking across the bridge is like stepping into a Renaissance tale, surrounded by shop windows filled with gold, silver, and precious stones, while the river flows just below. A curious detail is that during World War II, all of Florence's bridges were destroyed by the Nazis, except for the Ponte Vecchio. It is said that sparing the Ponte Vecchio was a direct order from Hitler, who was enchanted by its beauty and unique style. If you can, take a moment to walk across the bridge, check the shops and their windows, and perhaps take the opportunity to buy a unique souvenir of the city. And if you are there in the late afternoon, prepare for an extra show. The sunset viewed from the bridge is simply unforgettable, with the golden sky reflecting on the calm waters of the Arno, and transforming the moment into a true open-air work of art. Our next stop is one of the most popular places in Florence, the Galleria dell'Accademia, home to one of the world's best-known and most admired sculptors, Michelangelo's David. The statue, sculpted between 1501 and 1504 from a single block of Carrara marble, stands over 5 meters tall. It is impressive not only for its enormous size, but also for the almost superhuman perfection of its anatomy and the expressive force it conveys, practically hypnotizing visitors who crowd the gallery every day to see it up close. In addition to the statue of David, the Galleria dell'Accademia also houses other Renaissance treasures, including many statues and paintings. As you explore the gallery's rooms, you can admire religious paintings from the 13th to 16th centuries, as well as several sculptures, including unfinished works by Michelangelo himself, such as the Four Prisoners or Slaves. Smaller and more intimate than the Uffizi Gallery, the Galleria dell'Accademia has its own charm and is often listed among the most visited museums in Italy and in the world. If you enjoy art and history, don't miss the chance to visit the gallery, whether to explore its collections or simply to see the original David up close in all its glory. This is definitely one of those unmissable moments that will stay in our memories forever. Now, if like me, you are passionate about authentic flavors, Florence Central Market is a true gastronomic paradise. Housed in a 19th century building, featuring an iron and glass structure, the market blends history, tradition, and the best of Tuscan and Italian cuisine in one place. On the ground floor, it functions as a traditional market, with several stalls selling a mix of fresh and artisanal products, such as cheeses, meats, and fruits and vegetables typical of Tuscany. But go upstairs and you'll find a more modern and vibrant floor, where exquisite food court enhances the visit. making it an even more interesting and tasty experience. At various kiosks and restaurants, chefs prepare fresh dishes, including handmade pasta, crispy pizzas, and sandwiches, all served in a relaxed and unpretentious atmosphere, perfect for sitting down with a glass of wine and enjoy a meal at your leisure. The area even includes a space dedicated to teaching the secrets of Tuscan cuisine, where students can literally get their hands dirty before tasting their own creations. The Central Market is also a great place to find souvenirs with a taste of Florence, sauces, spices, sausages, and wines that easily fit into any traveler's suitcase, won't break the bank, and will definitely bring a little bit of Italy back home with you. Now, if you stay in the city for a bit longer and not just visiting during a cruise stop, I have 3 other missable tips for you. While you can still stop by these places during a short visit, I highly recommend visiting if you're spending more time in the city. Not only does it give you better value for your money, but it also allows you to take your time to explore and discover everything they have to offer, especially if you're an art and history lover. If you have a little extra time in Florence, one of the places that must be part of your itinerary is the Uffizi Gallery. Located right next to Piazza della Signoria, in an elegant Renaissance building designed by Giorgio Vasari, the Uffizi is more than a museum. It's a true journey to the history of Western art. Considered one of the most important and most visited museums in the world, it attracts millions of visitors each year. Its collection is simply fantastic. In its exhibition, visitors will find paintings, studies, and sculptures by the greatest masters of the Renaissance, such as Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, Caravaggio, and many other well-known names you have definitely seen in art and history books. However, the highlight of the Uffizi Gallery has to be Botticelli, featuring some of his most iconic paintings, especially the popular The Birth of Venus, which attracts and enchants hundreds of visitors to the museum every year. The museum's interior architecture is also fascinating, with majestic galleries and long corridors housing a unique collection that reveals centuries of art and history. Even if you can't see everything, it's worth taking your time to walk through the rooms and explore the exhibits. Each area reveals new and amazing surprises. Oh, and a gold tip here: buy a ticket in advance on the gallery's website or book private tours on platforms like Viator and Get Your Guide. Lines can be long, especially during peak season, and tickets are limited to a certain number of visitors each day. However, if for any reason you can't visit the interior of the Uffizi Gallery, don't worry. The outside is also an attraction in its own right. A gap between the 2 buildings that make up the museum creates a kind of open-air corridor that connects Piazza della Signoria to the Arno River. Walking through there feels like exploring a Renaissance-era setting, surrounded by statues of great Italian masters such as Dante, Galileo, and Michelangelo. Not to mention that at the end of this corridor, you'll be treated to a stunning view of the Arno River and the Ponte Vecchio, which are right there close to the gallery. The mix of art, history, and postcard views make this area one of the most enchanting in all Florence. And believe me, even if you can't visit the interior of the Uffizi Gallery, just feeling the creative and cultural energy that pulses around you in the area is already an unforgettable experience in itself. On the opposite side of the Arno River, in a slightly less crowded part of Florence, lies the imposing Palazzo Pitti, a true gem of Florence. Originally constructed in 1458 by the Pitti family, the palace became the residence of the Medici in 1549, emerging as a symbol of the family's prestige and power. Today, it houses several museums, including the Palatine Gallery, where visitors can admire masterpieces by artists such as Raphael, Titian, Rubens, and Caravaggio, displayed in opulently decorated rooms that still preserve the grandeur of the court. However, the enchantment doesn't stop in there. Behind the palace are the Boboli Gardens, one of the first and most influential gardens in the Italian style. The garden area is vast, and strolling through its various paths reveal ornamental fountains, mythological statues, grottos, and terraces, offering amazing panoramic views of the city and the palace. An oasis within the Renaissance city. Visiting Palazzo Pitti in the Boboli garden is an unforgettable experience in Florence, not only for the artistic and architectural wealth of the palace, but also for the surreal beauty that awaits visitors as they explore the garden's intricate paths. And if you find yourself in the city at the end of the day, you want to conclude your visit to Florence with a flourish and a breathtaking view, there is nothing better than visiting Piazzale Michelangelo. Perched atop a hill, the square at this lookout point offers one of the most spectacular panoramic views of the city. Although visitors can reach the square by car, tour, taxi, or by taking local buses 12 or 13, the most popular way to visit is via scenic walk that takes about 20 minutes. While it can be a bit of strenuous walk due to the many ramps and the stairs start at the Arno River, the route also provides plenty of opportunity to catch your breath and enjoy beautiful views of the city along the way. However you choose to get there, you'll be rewarded with incredible vistas of Florence from the hilltop. From up there, you have the entire city at your feet. The Duomo with its grandiose dome, Giotto's bell tower, and the Arno River winding through the center, crossed by several bridges, including the charming Ponte Vecchio that connects its banks. At sunset, everything takes on gold and pink hues, as if all of Florence had been immersed in a Renaissance painting. If possible, visit Piazzale Michelangelo in the late afternoon and arrive early to secure a good spot, as the city views at sunset attract hundreds of tourists to the observation deck every day. In the center of the square, visitors can also admire another imposing bronze replica of Michelangelo's David, paying homage to the Renaissance genius who lent the square its name. To complete the magical atmosphere, street artists bring live music and art to the square every day, entertaining the hundreds of visitors who gather at the observation deck, waiting for the sun to set and contemplating the unique beauty of the city of Florence. Piazzale Michelangelo is not just a viewpoint, it's one of the few places in the world where history, beauty, and art merge with the present in an almost tangible way. It is definitely an unmissable experience in Florence. So did you enjoy our one-day itinerary in Florence? If you like the tips, or if this video inspired you to visit this beautiful Italian city, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your family and friends. Here you'll receive weekly tips on incredible cruises and destinations across the world. And also help our content reach other travelers and cruise lovers like you. I really appreciate your support, my cruise mate. By the way, have you been to Florence? If so, let me know in the comments what was your favorite corner or attraction in the city. And if you want to learn more about cruises and amazing destinations and ports in Europe, I think you'll enjoy these videos. See you in the next video.